Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are jumping right into one of the most, well, intense places on Earth, the Amazon River. It's more than just a river, isn't it? It's this absolutely colossal ecosystem.
Oh, definitely. The scale is hard to grasp. Think about this. If the Amazon basin itself were a country, it'd be the seventh largest in the world. That's huge.
Right. And deep within that massive space and those murky waters, you find life that's evolved for, well, lethal survival. Kill or be killed, basically.
Exactly. That's why it gets that reputation, the River of Death.
And today, we're going deeper than the usual suspects, right? Not just the jaguars or the caimans on the banks.
Precisely. Our mission, let's say, is to get into the water itself. We want to look at the really specialized hunters lurking beneath the surface, some of the weirdest, most ferocious fish out there.
Creatures really engineered by evolution for these extreme conditions.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with something memorable.
Let's kick off with maybe the most metal fish in the whole basin, the Payara.
Ah, the vampire fish. That nickname definitely sticks.
It really does. It's got that almost Nosferatu look when it opens its mouth.
And what's fascinating is what it eats. Right?
Yeah. It actually goes after piranhas.
Yeah.
You know, the fish everyone thinks is the top terror. The Payara hunts them. It's like the ultimate counter-predator.
So it targets the river's most infamous bully.
Yeah.
And it brings some serious hardware to the fight.
Oh, absolutely serious. This fish can get over a meter long.
Wow.
And its bottom fangs are, well, they're huge. Think like banana-sized.
Banana-sized fangs.
Yeah.
Seriously.
They're so big, the fish actually has special holes, like sockets, in the roof of its skull just to fit them when its mouth is closed.
Right.
Otherwise, they'd poke right through.
That's next level dental work. Just incredible.
It's wild evolutionary engineering.
So with that kind of weaponry and the power it must need to hunt, where does it hang out?
Good question. It needs a lot of oxygen. Unlike some Amazon fish that cope with stagnant water, the Payara needs well-oxygenated environments.
So it's not in the calm backwaters then.
No, you find it where the current is strong, around rapids. It actually uses that current. It waits for prey, like those piranhas, to get swept towards it.
Using the environment to its advantage. Smart.
Very. And when it strikes, it's terrifyingly efficient.
It's not chewing, is it?
Not at all. It's about impalement. One powerful bite. Those massive fangs are designed to stab right through the prey's heart and guts.
Like making fish skewers?
Basically, yeah. Fish skewers.
Ooh.
Then it just swallows the meal whole.
And just to clarify, despite the vampire fish name,
Right. They don't actually suck blood. That's just the nickname because of the fangs. They're pure power hunters,
yeah.
focused on a single lethal strike.
Okay, so the Payara needs fast, oxygen-rich water. That actually leads us nicely into talking about the river itself, doesn't it? The whole environment is defined by these huge, constant changes.
Absolutely. The scale is one thing, but the flux is another. It's always changing.
You mean the seasons?
Yeah, the wet and dry seasons have a massive impact. In the dry season, the water level drops dramatically. Fish get trapped in these shallow pools, low oxygen ponds. It gets tough.
But then the rainy season comes.
And the river just explodes. It can go from maybe, 5 kilometers wide in places to over 40 kilometers wide? 40. It becomes this vast inland sea.
That scale is just mind-boggling, and it explains why there are no bridges, right? Along its entire almost 8,000-kilometer length.
Exactly. How could you possibly build something to span that kind of seasonal change, that power? You just can't.
And those low oxygen conditions during the dry season, they drive some incredible adaptations. That's where we get the real giants, like the Arapaima.
The Arapaima, or Pirarucu as it's also known.
Yeah.
The South American leviathan.
How big are we talking?
A healthy adult is easily over 2 meters long, taller than a person, and some exceptional ones have been recorded up to 3 meters.
3 meters. That's enormous. And how do they hunt?
It's pretty cool, actually. They open their huge mouths really fast.
Yeah.
Creates this sudden vacuum that just sucks the prey straight in. Fish, crustaceans,
I heard they even jump out of the water.
they do. There are confirmed reports of them leaping out to snatch birds, monkeys sometimes, right off low-hanging branches. So they're aerial ambush predators, too. It's quite something.
Okay, huge size, vacuum mouth, jumping. But they have a weakness, right? The breathing.
That's the crucial adaptation. They have to surface for air roughly every 15 minutes or so. The Amazon water, especially in pools or during the dry season, is often too low in oxygen for gills alone.
So how do they manage?
They've essentially modified their swim bladder It functions like a primitive lung. They gulp air at the surface.
So it's a trade-off. They can survive low oxygen, but they have to expose themselves.
Exactly. But it also gives them an advantage. When water levels drop really low, an arapaima can actually survive out of water for a bit. It can even drag itself short distances over land to find a deeper pool.
Incredible. And they also have that armor plating.
Ah, yes, the scales. They're an absolute marvel of natural engineering.
How so?
Well, they have this layered structure. Think of it like natural bulletproof armor. There's a hard outer layer made of calcium phosphate, but underneath are layers of collagen, arranged in a way that makes them tough, but also flexible, able to absorb impact.
So protection against.
Well, theoretically, things like piranhas, maybe even smaller caimans when the arapaima is full grown, it makes them pretty invulnerable to most bites.
It's a brilliant defense.
Yeah.
But that need to surface, combined with their size, that makes them a target for humans, doesn't it?
That's the sad reality.
Yeah.
Yes, they're big, they're visible when they surface, their meat is apparently delicious and highly prized. Plus, those tough scales get used for tools like nail files or even jewelry.
So overfishing is a major problem.
Huge problem. They're endangered in many areas, and conservation is really difficult. Trying to enforce fishing bans across thousands of kilometers of remote jungle, it's incredibly challenging.
A true giant facing a modern threat. Before we leave the giants, we should mention the other big one, the Pirayiba catfish.
Oh, absolutely. The monster catfish. Reports claim they can reach over 3.5 meters.
3.5 meters, that's like stacking two average guys head to toe.
Pretty much. And they're also air breathers, mostly active at night.
How do they hunt in the dark, murky water?
They use those long barbels, the whiskers. They're packed with chemoreceptors and pressure sensors. So they're basically tasting and feeling their way through the water, detecting prey movements and smells. A massive advantage in that environment.
Okay, so these fish are masters of adapting to oxygen levels, pressure, darkness. But the Amazon throws even weirder stuff at them, doesn't it? Like literally boiling water.
Yeah, that's in one specific area in Peru, the Chinet-Tempisca region. There's a river there where the water temperature has been recorded at 99 degrees Celsius.
Almost boiling point, 210 Fahrenheit.
Exactly. It's heated geothermally. Water seeps down from the Andes, gets heated by the Earth's mantle deep underground, and then resurfaces. It's hot enough to literally cook animals alive if they fall in.
Terrifying. And thankfully, pretty far away from the other extreme water phenomenon, the Pororoca wave.
The tidal bore. That's near the mouth of the Amazon. Around the equinoxes, especially during a full or new moon, the Atlantic tide pushes inland with such force that it reverses the river's flow.
For how far?
It can push back up to 800 kilometers inland. And it creates this massive wave, the Pororoca, sometimes up to 4 meters high.
4 meters? That's a huge wave traveling upriver.
Yeah, it travels for hundreds of kilometers. Some adventurous surfers actually ride it. The record, I think, is over 12 kilometers on one wave.
That sounds amazing, but also terrifying thinking about what debris and maybe what fish are churning around in that wave.
Hopefully not for the faint of heart.
Okay, speaking of terrifying, piranhas. We all grew up with this image, largely thanks to Teddy Roosevelt, right? Tell us about that famous story and the reality.
Right, the Teddy Roosevelt effect. He visited Brazil in 1913, 1914, and wrote about his experiences in his book Through the Brazilian Wilderness.
And there was that incident with the cow.
Yes. Local fishermen apparently blocked off part of a river, starved a shoal of piranhas for days, and then drove a cow into the water for Roosevelt to witness. The starving fish, predictably, stripped it to the bone in minutes.
So it was a staged event, essentially, to impress the visiting dignitary.
Largely, yes. It cemented this idea of piranhas as hyper-aggressive pack hunters that will devour anything instantly.
But the truth is more nuanced.
Much more. Piranhas, especially species like the red-bellied piranha, are predators with incredibly sharp interlocking teeth, perfect for shearing flesh.
But not usually large, live animals?
Generally, no. They mostly eat smaller fish, insects, crustaceans, sometimes even fruits and seeds that fall into the water. They are important scavengers, too, cleaning up carcasses like land animals that fall in and drown.
And the shoaling, the big groups?
That's primarily defensive. Sticking together makes it harder for predators like arapaima, river dolphins, or caimans to pick them off individually.
So human attacks, are they common?
Extremely rare and usually not serious. Most incidents involve single bites, often to feet or hands dangling in the water. It's typically a defensive nip, maybe if someone gets too close to a nest site hidden among vegetation, not a feeding frenzy.
Okay, so the piranha's PR problem is worse than its actual bite, mostly. But if you want really weird teeth, we need to talk about its cousin, the pacu.
The pacu. Yes. The fish with the unsettlingly human-like teeth.
Right. They look like molars. Why?
It's all about diet. Pacu aren't primarily predators like piranhas. They've adapted to eat tougher stuff. Nuts, seeds, fruits that fall from trees into the river.
So they need teeth for crushing, not tearing.
Exactly. Those flat, molar-like teeth are perfect for cracking hard shells and grinding up plant matter. They play a really important role in the ecosystem, actually.
How so?
They're major seed dispersers. They eat the fruit, swim somewhere else, and then, well, pass the seeds out in their waste, helping to spread plants along the riverbanks.
Fascinating. A vegetarian piranha relative planting trees. Okay, one more bizarre specialist before we get to the hidden dangers. The beaverfish. That sounds made up.
It does, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not part beaver, obviously. It's a type of catfish, the Penaki genus, a suckermouth catfish.
And why the beaver nickname?
Because it eats wood.
It eats wood, like it gnaws on logs.
Literally. It has these specialized spoon-shaped teeth designed to scrape and gnaw away at submerged wood and tough algae or plant material. Its sucker mouth lets it cling onto logs, even in currents.
How does it even digest wood?
It has special bacteria in its gut that help break down the cellulose and extract nutrients. It's a slow process, but it's carved out a unique niche. A very slow-moving, well-defended fish. It has sharp spines on its fins, too.
Okay, from wood eaters to things you really don't want to step on, let's talk about the dangers lurking unseen on the river bottom, river stingrays.
Yes. Definitely something to be cautious about. There are quite a few species of freshwater stingray in the Amazon basin.
And they're dangerous because...
Their sting. They have one or more barbed spines on their tail coated in incredibly potent venom. Getting stung is agonizingly painful.
You're worse than an ocean stingray.
Often considered much worse. The venom can cause severe pain, muscle contractions, and the wounds frequently lead to nasty secondary infections, ulcers, even tissue necrosis, where the flesh dies around the sting.
Ouch! Why such potent venom?
The theory is that the barbs and venom evolved partly as a defense against predators like caimans. The barb needs to be strong enough and the venom potent enough to make even a tough-skinned caiman think twice. Human skin offers basically no resistance.
Right. They've been nicknamed the "you wish you weren't here" fish, I read somewhere.
An apt description if you accidentally step on one.
Okay, from painful stings to the stuff of nightmares. We mentioned the payara was nicknamed the vampire fish, but there's a fish that actually does behave a bit like one. The candiru.
Ah, the candiru. That's the one that gets the really notorious reputation. It's a small, slender, parasitic catfish.
Parasitic how?
It has an amazing sense of smell, specifically tuned to detect ammonia and urea waste products released by fish from their gills.
So it follows the scent trail?
Exactly. It tracks the ammonia-rich water flowing out of the gills of larger fish. When it finds a host, it darts into the gill chamber.
And then what?
It lodges itself in there, often using little spines to hold on, and then it feeds on the blood vessels inside the gills. It drinks its fill of blood, then usually detaches and swims away.
Does it harm the host fish much?
Usually not significantly. Unless the host is small or gets infested by many candiru, it's generally more of an annoyance than a fatal attack for the fish.
Okay, but the infamous story, the reason everyone shivers when they hear candiru, is the myth about it swimming up orifices, specifically the urethra.
Right, that is the pervasive, terrifying story. The idea that if you urinate in the river, this tiny fish will sense the urea and swim up the stream into your urethra.
Is there any truth to that? Please say no.
Well, it's overwhelmingly considered a myth. There's really only one documented case from the late 19th century that's often cited, and even his details are debated and pretty sketchy.
So anatomically, is it even possible?
Highly unlikely. While they are attracted to urea, the physics of swimming up a urine stream against the flow and then navigating the very narrow opening of a human urethra, it just doesn't add up for most researchers. The fish isn't really built for that kind of burrowing against pressure.
So no confirmed modern cases?
No properly verified, medically documented modern cases exist of a candiru lodging itself in a human urethra. There might be cases of them entering other orifices on decaying bodies, perhaps, or maybe the nostrils of stressed fish. But the urethra invasion story is almost certainly an urban legend.
Okay, that's a relief. You still wouldn't want to meet one, but maybe not quite as terrifyingly specific a threat.
Exactly. You have much bigger, more probable things to worry about if you're swimming in the Amazon.
So, wrapping this incredible dive up, what's the big picture here? We've seen bulletproof armor, air-breathing lungs, giant fangs, wood eaters. It's a world of extremes.
It really is. The key takeaway for me is just how specialized life has to become to survive there. Every single adaptation, whether it's the Payura's speed and fangs, the Arapaima lungs and scales, the Pacu's crushing molars, or the Candiru's parasitism,
Mm.
it's a direct, finely tuned answer to the specific challenges of that environment.
The fluctuating water, the low oxygen, the sheer number of predators.
Exactly. It really showcases the incredible, sometimes bizarre, but always amazing power of evolution. It's this intricate, intense balance of life and death playing out constantly.
And as we touched on with the Arapaima, it's a balance that's increasingly fragile, especially when humans enter the equation.
That's right. Those amazing scales evolved over millennia to stop piranha bites. But they offer no protection against a fishing net or a spear, especially when the fish has to come to the surface to breathe.
It really highlights our impact. So maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to ponder. We've seen these incredible armored giants, the Arapaima, evolve these amazing defenses. But their greatest vulnerability now comes from us, from their value as food and resources. So considering that, what role does effective conservation, things like enforcing those difficult fishing bans and managing habitats, truly play in the future survival of these ancient armored kings of the river?
It's a critical question for the future of the Amazon.
Absolutely. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Amazon's aquatic hunters, there's so much more to explore. The river dolphins, the giant caimans, the anacondas, maybe for another time.
Plenty more wonders out there.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.